Go for the next question. In context of Swayam, consider the following statements. It is designed to achieve access, equity and quality of education. Students, teachers, senior citizens and homemakers can enroll and avail the benefits of Swayam courses. It was launched by the Ministry of Human Resource Development under the Digital India program. Choose the correct code. 1 and 2 only, 2 only, 1 and 3 only, D, all of the above. So, Swayam initiative has been present in our news recently with regards to the COVID lockdown, the coronavirus lockdown. So, you must have heard of it. It's a massive open online courses for education, and this has been massively promoted by the government for people to learn. Keeping this in mind, the first statement again sounds correct. Second statement again sounds correct. The third statement, Ministry of Human Resource Development. The question comes, is it the Ministry of Human Resource Development or the Ministry of Education? So then the conflict has to be resolved. So keep in mind, everything which is related to the training of the human body or the mind comes under the Human Resource Development Ministry. And the third statement also has a very equal chance of being correct. So the answer is D, all of the above. And the statement 1 is Swayam, which is Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds, is a program initiated by the Government of India and designed to achieve the 3 cardinal principles of education policy, which is access, equity and quality. The statement 2 is correct because in the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic scenario, students, teachers, lifelong learners, senior citizens and homemakers may enroll and avail the benefits of Swayam courses to widen their horizon of learning. The statement 3 is correct because Swayam is an initiative launched by the Ministry of HRD, Government of India under the Digital India program to give a coordinated stage and free entry to web courses covering all advanced education, high school and skill sector courses. We'll go for the next question. In the context of Quality Council of India, consider the following statements. It is a statutory body. Second statement, Chairman of QCI is appointed by the President on recommendation of the industry to the government. Choose the correct code. Option A 1 only, option B 2 only, option C both 1 and 2 and option D none of the above. So is it a statutory body? No. It's formed by an association of many other bodies too. So it does not have a separate statute for it. Neither does it derive its powers from a separate statute. So keeping that in mind, we can say the first statement is wrong. Again, Quality Council of India is a previous year UPSC question. At the same time, it is a bit difficult for a normal person who has not much knowledge to attend it. So I don't want to go too much into it. We'll go for the explanation directly. The answer is D. Both of them are wrong because the first statement, QCA was set up in 1997 as an autonomous body. It was set up jointly by the Government of India and the Indian industry represented by 3 premier associations. One is ASSOCHAM, the Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industry of India. The second is CII, which is the Confederation of Indian Industry. And the third is FICCI, the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. The statement 2 is not correct because the chairman of QCI is appointed by the Prime Minister on recommendation of the industry to the government. Next question is Demo2 Mission, which is a part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program, aims to A. Create a family of experimental aircraft, developing in access to and from the International Space Station and explore the atmosphere of Jupiter and understand dark matter and dark energy. Again, highly specific question based upon the current affairs. You know it, you can hit it. If you don't know it, it's going to be really, really hard. So this Demo2 mission is actually meant to develop an access to and fro from the International Space Station. So I don't want to go because the rest of them, it's a very specific question and we can't just make a guess to identify it easily. So one must know it, and there's not much technique or logic you can use to eliminate such other options in this kind of question. The answer is B. NASA's Commercial Crew Program has worked with several American aerospace industry companies to facilitate the development of US human spaceflight systems since 2010 with the aim of developing reliable and cost-effective access to and from the ISS. Essentially, the liftoff on May 27 is a flight test to certify if SpaceX crew transportation system can be used to ferry crew to and fro from the space station regularly. Go for the next question. Consider the following statements about the Open Skies Treaty. It establishes a regime of unarmed aerial observation flights over the territories of its signatories. India has signed the territory but has not yet ratified it. It is related to civil aviation open skies agreements. Select the correct answer using the given below code. Option A 1 only, option B 2 and 3 only, option C 1 and 3 only, and option D all of the above. So looking at this Open Skies Treaty, it establishes a regime of unarmed aerial observation flights over the territories of its signatories. Quite possible. India has signed the treaty but has not yet ratified it. No, India has not signed such a treaty. And it is related to civil aviation open skies agreement. No, it's related to something completely different. So this is a bit of a tricky question. It has some theoretical basis to it. So if you had read the newspapers, you would have definitely known about it, that India has not signed it. Keeping that in mind, if you would be able to remove option B and option D, then the only thing left is 1 only and 1 and 3 only. Automatically option 1 becomes right. The third statement is related to Civil Aviation Open Skies Agreement. Again, it's a bit of a theoretical question, so unless one has a bit of an idea about it, it's going to be really difficult if someone has not read the article. So it is going to be either way. We would have made an analysis to make sure the answer has come between two options, which is option A and option C. We'll go for the explanation. It is option A. The statement 1 is correct because the Treaty on Open Skies establishes a regime of unarmed aerial observation flight over the territories of its signatories. Statement 2 is not correct because the 35 state parties to the Open Skies Treaty there are many countries mentioned in this. Please look at it. India is not there. Kyrgyzstan is the country which has signed the treaty but has not yet ratified it. And the statement 3 is not correct because the treaty is not related to Civil Aviation Open Skies Agreement. Okay. We'll go for the next question. Which of the following services are offered by the government via Umang Mobile App? Tourism forecast, job search, DigiLocker, birth certificates, tax and utilities bill payments. Choose the correct code. 1, 3 and 4 only, 2, 4 and 5 only, 1, 2, 4 and 5 only, D, all of the above. Umang app has been present in the news. It's again a flagship program of the Digital India program. If one has a clear idea about it, they'll know that the Umang app is a single window app which facilitates all kinds of governance services under a single app or single window. So all of them are governance services, and it's quite possible that all of them would come under it. So the answer is option D, all of the above. We look at the explanation. The Umang Mobile App, or the Unified Mobile Application for New Age Governance, is a Government of India all-in-one single unified secure multi-channel multi-platform multilingual multi-service mobile app powered by a robust back-end platform providing access to high-impact services of various organizations, central and state. So to further enhance the initiatives of Digital India, the MeitY, or the Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, has brought the India Meteorological Department IMD services on the Umang app. And it offers services such as Aadhaar, DigiLocker, Bharat Bill Payment System, PAN, EPFO, Pradhan Mantri, PMKVY, AICTE, CBSE, tax and fee or utilities bill payment, education, job search, tax, business, health, agriculture, travel, birth certificates, e-district, passport, and much more. Go for the next question. In the context of Overseas Citizen of India, OCI, consider the following statements. OCI card holders can enter India multiple times and are exempted from the registering with the Foreigners Regional Registration Office, or FRRO. They get voting rights and can hold a government job. Choose the correct code. A, 1 only, option B, 2 only, C, 1 and 2 only, option D, none of the above. Clearly, a person who holds a OCI card, they cannot get voting rights, and neither can they hold a government job. So that is something you'll definitely know about it as you go through your polity syllabus, and this is something which has been clearly mentioned whenever the subject of OCI has come up. So option 2 is wrong, and if option 2 is wrong, you're either left with A, 1 only, or D, none of the above. OCI card holders can enter India multiple times and are exempted from registering with the Foreigners Regional Registration Office. That is true. That is a privilege given to the OCI card holders. So we can say that the option 1 is correct. If you had gone through the newspapers, you would have definitely known about this. Go for the explanation. Answer is A. The statement 1 is correct because the OCI card holders can enter India multiple times, get a multi-purpose lifelong visa to visit India, and are exempt from registering with the Foreigners Regional Registration Office, FRRO. The statement 2 is not correct because OCI card holders do not get voting rights, cannot hold a government job, or purchase agricultural or farmland. We'll go for the next question. In context of repo rate, consider the following statements. It is the rate at which RBI borrows money from the banks. It is higher than the reverse repo rate. It is used to control inflation and deficiency of funds. Choose the correct code. Option A, 1 only, option B, 2 and 3 only, option C, 1 and 3 only, and option D, all of the above. So, the context of repo rate or repurchase option rate. So, this rate is highly important because it is also referred to as the policy rate by the government, or it's generally referred to as the policy rate, and it is a rate upon which all the other rates are dependent. So keeping this in mind, it's a very, very important topic in economy to understand about repo and what it does. So it is a rate at which the RBI borrows money from banks. No, it is the rate at which the commercial banks borrow money from the RBI. So this is one of the basic fundamentals of economy as part of your RBI's, as you study about the RBI. So first statement is wrong. Now, even if you haven't read through the syllabus or if you don't know about the economy, the word repo is always comes up in the newspaper every 2 or 3 months, because it's changed by the Monetary Policy Committee every 2 or 3 months. So keeping this in mind, one must have a very clear idea of what is repo. And if you had read the newspaper over a few months, you would have definitely known what is the change in what is the change in repo, and what is going to mean for the economy. Again, in the initial stages, it may seem that you have zero idea about it, but as you keep reading over the months, you'll start getting all this information slowly inside your head. So the first statement is absolutely wrong. Automatically the option B gets correct. It is higher than the reverse repo rate. Yes, it is true. And it is used to control inflation and deficiency of funds. Yes, that is absolutely right. We go for the explanation. The answer is B. Statement 1 is not correct because the repo rate refers to the rate at which the commercial banks borrow money by selling their securities to the RBI. It is one of the main tools of RBI to keep inflation under control. And the statement 2 is correct because it is higher than the reverse repo rate, which is the rate at which the RBI borrows money from the banks. And the statement 3 is correct. It is used to control inflation and deficiency of funds. So that is also absolutely correct. We'll go for the next question. The Treaty of Sugauli, sometimes seen in news, had established the boundary line of A. Nepal, B. Afghanistan, C. Sri Lanka, and D. Myanmar. This treaty has been in the news for the past 2 weeks with relation to India-Nepal relations. And clearly the answer is obviously option A, Nepal. We'll go for the explanation. Answer is A, the Treaty of Sugauli, also spelled in a different ways, which generally sounds like Sugauli, Sagauli, Suguli, and Seguli. The treaty that established the boundary line of Nepal was signed on 2nd December 1915 and ratified by 4th March of 1816 between the East India Company and the King of Nepal following the Anglo-Nepalese War of 1814 to 1816. So Treaty of Nepal, the Treaty of Sugauli is between India and Nepal. Just keep that in mind. Consider the following statements about the Vande Bharat Express. It is India's first indigenously built engineless semi-high-speed train. It is also known by the name Train 18. Select the correct answer using the given below code. Option A, 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2. D, none of the above. Again, this has been present in the news for over the past 2 years. There has been much hype about it. So if you've been reading the news consistently or even have a general idea about the news, it is quite clear. Yes, this is India's first indigenously built engineless semi-high-speed train, and is also known by the name of Train 18. And the answer is answer C, both are correct. And it is India's first indigenously built engineless semi-high-speed train. The train is a 100% Make in India project and is claimed to be built at half the cost of a similar train set that is imported. It has been built by the Integral Coach Factory in Chennai in a record time of 20 months. It is also known by the name of Train 18. We'll go for the next question. Which of the following agriculture products are protected under the geographical indications tag? 1. Magahi Pan, 2. Katarni Paddy, 3. Zardalu Mango, and 4. Shahi Lychee. Which of the above mentioned statements are correct? 1, 2 and 4 only, 2 and 4 only, C 1, 2 and 3 only, D all of the above. So these came up recently as part of the GI, in the GI tags and the articles about it. So again, it's a very specific question asking about very specific products. It's a bit hard to guess. So I don't want, and there is not much logic or not much you can make to identify certain things as they are in the GA tags or they don't have a GA tags. So this is something you will have to learn. So just learn this and understand that all of the 4 mentioned agriculture products do possess GA tags. The correct answer is answer D, and Zardalu Mango, Katarni Paddy, Magahi Pan, or known as a betel leaf, agriculture products from Bihar have figured in the GA journal issue of November 28, 2017, and Zardalu Mango has been described as a unique product from Bhagalpur in the journal. This mango variety is known for its light yellow skin and special aroma. We'll go for the next question. In the context of Bharat Stage 6, BS6 Emission Standards, consider the following statements. These standards and its timeline for implementation are set by the National Green Tribunal (NGT). Implementation of BS6 is expected to help India achieve its commitments under the Paris Climate Change Agreement. Choose the correct code. 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, D none of the above. So first statement, these standards and timeline is set by NGT. No, it's set by the Central Pollution Control Board. So NGT deals more with cases which are related to the environmental issues. So it does not say it does not interfere much into the other settings which the government already has an agency known as the Central Pollution Control Board to enforce. The second statement, implementation of BS6 is expected to help India achieve its commitments under the Paris Climate Change Agreement. Yes, implementation of BS6 can help India achieve the targets under the Paris Climate Change Agreement. So you can go for option B, 2 only as the right answer. The answer is B. Statement 1 is not correct. The standards and the timeline for implementation are set by the Central Pollution Control Board under the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. The statement 2 is correct because this measure is expected to help mitigate the problem of air pollution in National Capital Territory of Delhi and the surrounding areas. The move is also in line with India's commitment under the Paris Climate Change Agreement to reduce its vehicular emission as part of the effort to cut emission intensity of its GDP. Yes, this is also, the second statement is correct, but the first statement is not correct because it is set by the CPCB. Keep that in mind. We'll go for the next question. In context of particularly vulnerable tribal groups, or known as PVTGs, consider the following statements. Extremely low level of literacy and a subsistence level of economy among certain tribal communities are some of the criteria for identifying the PVTGs. The Katkari tribe is one of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. The Ministry of Tribal Affairs identifies and categorizes tribal groups as PVTGs. So the first statement sounds true. We look at the options. Option A, 1 only, option B, 1 and 2 only, option C, 1 and 3 only, and option D, all of the above. First statement sounds true and it's present in all of them. Second statement, Katkari tribe is one of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Yes, it is quite possible. You can say either 50-50. You can go for it, you can not go for it. Third statement, Ministry of Tribal Affairs identifies and categorizes tribal groups as PVTGs. Yes, that is how it sounds in this statement. But it is not the Ministry of Tribal Affairs that looks after the, identifies and categorizes these groups as PVTGs, but rather it is the Ministry of Home Affairs. Generally, it would be the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, but in this context, especially for PVTGs, it is the Ministry of Home Affairs. Please remember that. Keep that in mind. And once that is there, you can look at your options. You can automatically eliminate option 3. Then option C and D get eliminated. Then option A, 1 only, option B, 1 only, and option A is 1 only, option B is 1 and 2 only. So then the question is on the second statement. Katkari tribe is one of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. You either know it or you don't know it. I would suggest you to just go for it. Yes, it can be one of the particularly vulnerable tribes. Go for it. Option answer is B. Statement 1 is correct. There are certain tribal communities who use a pre-agricultural level of technology, face stagnant or declining population growth, and are equipped with extremely low level of literacy and subsistence level of economy. 75 such groups of tribals have been identified in 18 states and 1 union territory, and they've been classified as PVTG. Katkari is one of the 75 particularly PVTG groups as per the classification by the Ministry of Home Affairs, which has been identified and categorized. So please understand, it is the Ministry of Home Affairs which is involved in classifying a tribe, identifying it as a particularly vulnerable tribal group. It is not the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Please remember that. Go for the next question. Recently, the Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change granted approval to the Department of Atomic Energy for survey and exploration of uranium in the Nallamala Forest Reserve. It is located in which of the following Indian state? Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra and Telangana. Nallamala Forest Reserve. As you learn through your Indian geography, you will learn about Nallamala Hills and you will understand it forms a part of the Telangana state. Again, if you have read your newspapers, it would have been very clearly understood that it is a part of Telangana. Again, there are many issues. If you may have read the newspaper, you may have read your geography. If both of them align together, it's very easy for a person who has well read on his current affairs, who is well read on his static part, to attend this question. If you are not really sure on your static part, or if you are not really sure on your current affairs, it's going to be difficult, yet you can make a choice. You can make a qualitative or educated guess. If you haven't read both, it's going to be really difficult. So in such questions, understand that it is of utmost importance that you keep reading your newspaper consistently over a period of time to remember these things, and make a note of the points and the locations which are mentioned in the newspaper, and correlate it with the map, and maybe understand which comes under which part of the syllabus, and you will be able to link it and study better about it. So the answer is Telangana. We'll go for the explanation. The answer is D. Recently, the Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has granted in principle approval to the Department of Atomic Energy to survey and explore uranium in 83 square kilometers of the Nallamala Forest Reserve. The Telangana State Legislative Assembly has unanimously passed a resolution requesting the central government not to permit uranium mining operations in Amrabad Tiger Reserve, part of Nallamala Forest and other areas of Telangana. So where is it located? It is in Nallamala ranges of the Eastern Ghats, and the part of the forest reserve belongs to the Nagarjuna Sagar Sri Shailam Tiger Reserve, which is the largest tiger reserve in India. Okay, so And that is all for today. I hope all of you stay safe, keep yourself healthy, and keep your preparation and the energy levels high. This is CB Joy signing off. Thank you.